Ark Raiders has taken the internet by storm since its release back in October, and I myself have been spending a lot of time with the game and really enjoying it. But just how did it manage to take over the multiplayer space whilst releasing in the middle of titans such as the brilliant Battlefield 6 and the not so brilliant Black Ops 7? Well, I will tell you how, so strap in and get ready. Ark Raiders truly works due to its commitment to the drop loot fight extract rhythm, but the magic isn't in that structure itself, it is in these small moments that happen along the way. The choices you make moment to moment, the way danger creeps in from the edges, and the constant pressure to grab just one more piece of loot than you probably need. A typical run would start with the drop. You're in the game and you immediately begin collecting whatever the environment hasn't destroyed yet. Bits of circuitry, some metal, some pears to upgrade your chicken. It's all junk, but it's junk with purpose. Everything you gather feeds directly into the long-term progression of your character. You need to collect this junk in order to upgrade your workbenches. Every upgrade gives you new weapons to craft, new gadgets, new weapon items, new anything. It becomes a cycle you just can't escape. You get your resources, you bring them home, you improve yourself, and then you head back out to risk it all again. The world does not make this easy. Even basic enemies do feel quite threatening in a way that demands your attention. You might be casually rummaging through a derelict shack when you hear a leaper nearby, for example. A single leaper can completely ruin your day, not only because it's impossibly strong, but because it forces you to react to reposition and waste your ammo and your shield you'd probably have hoped to have saved for a fight with an enemy. It will also, of course, reveal your position to other players, which could be a blessing or a curse, but we'll get onto that later. Or you could run into a rocketeer. The moment that you see one of these dudes, you find yourself diving behind whatever sort of cover you can even find and just hope that you survive. Combat in Ark Raiders is built around the improvisation. You rarely have the perfect cover or the perfect information for the perfect moment. You move around constantly, you weave between debris, you slide down slopes to save your stamina, you do whatever you can. But clearly all of this stuff does not feel as though it was meant for tactical use. Enemies force you to think on your feet. Should you break the line of sight and reset? Should you run away and hope that you can run faster than the robot? The game never explicitly tells you the right answer, and that uncertainty keeps every single encounter pretty damn dynamic. But every fight, every escape, every scrap of loot you gather eventually pushes you towards the moment all extraction games hinge on, deciding it's time to leave. You know you should extract with what you have. It is enough to upgrade something meaningful back at your base, and yet just over that hill there could be one more house, there could be one more locker, one more down drone, one more high value component that could save you an entire run's worth of grinding later. When you finally commit to extraction though, the mood shifts now. You trigger the beacon, the alarms go off, and every Ark in the region sometimes seems to decide that you are the evening entertainment. You have to wait for the door to open and prepare for the possibility that another squad might even appear, drawn in by all the noise you're making. Standing there, clutching your backpack full of scavenged metal, you suddenly feel very attached to all of your belongings, far more than you probably should be. It feeds the entire progression loop that makes Ark Raiders so compelling. You return home, you upgrade your stations, you craft something new, you admire it for 5 seconds, and then you go back into the game to do it all again. The treadmill just never stops, but it never feels pointless. Every improvement comes from a run where something nearly killed you, something surprised you, or something forced you to adapt. This is what makes the extraction shooter genre so effective. It shapes Ark Raiders into a sequence of tense, layered moments where survival, greed, ambition, and panic all blend together. The only other extraction shooter I've really put considerable time into was Hunt Showdown. Now, Ark is nowhere near as hardcore and punishing as Hunt Showdown, but it does give you that same feeling, the thrill of the chase, the fear of extraction, and the joy of making it out alive. You leave every match with a story, and more importantly, with the exact materials you need to chase the next one. If the extraction loop gives Ark Raiders its structure, the community is what gives it its soul. This is one of the rare games where running into another squad doesn't automatically mean that somebody is about to die. In fact, the social side of Ark Raiders has turned it into one of its most defining features. Not because the game forces cooperation, it absolutely doesn't, but because it creates situations where cooperation suddenly feels like the smart thing to do. You will recognise the moment immediately. You will be moving through with your friend or two of your friends, and then you will suddenly see in the distance, or maybe in the not so distance, two other people. Suddenly, it's sort of like a weird Mexican standoff. Everyone stood there. Maybe somebody's saying don't shoot. You can speak to them through proximity chat or through a speech wheel. You can then honour that contract of don't shoot, or you can blast each other into oblivion. Sometimes it does escalate, sometimes it doesn't, but the magic is that you never really know which way it's going to go. Ark Raiders is chaotic enough that you often don't want the added burden of fighting each other. If a pack of Arks suddenly barrels down towards you, then you would be amazed at how quickly total strangers could start working together without saying a word. You might be reviving someone you've never met. Both of you could just decide that you will sort out your differences afterwards, or not at all. What makes these encounters shine is that cooperation isn't always altruistic. Sometimes it is survival instincts. Sometimes you are completely out of ammo and you're trying to look friendly while holding a gun so that somebody doesn't shoot you because you simply cannot fight back. But Ark Raiders doesn't guarantee harmony. The trust is fragile. That same squad you just fought alongside might stab you in the back when you get near the extraction point. And what is remarkable is how organic all of this feels. You create your own etiquette, half of it thoughtful, half of it just chaos. When word spread that you could actually trust some other players, even occasionally, the community sort of leaned into that. People started sharing clips of unexpected teamwork, of last second revives, impromptu alliances, and then the betrayals as well. This reputation feeds back into the player behaviour, and from a design perspective this works because the balance between PvE and PvP is really finely tuned. The Arks are not fodder, they are dangerous enough to discourage reckless combat, but the rewards for surviving encounters are tempting enough that you want to engage when the moment is right. This creates a constant tension. Other players are both competition and potential teammates, both threats and assets. The game does not dictate how to treat them, it simply provides the pressure and lets human nature take it from there. And human nature, it turns out, is wildly unpredictable. You will get betrayals, you will get kindness, but in the end, you get the humanity, the hesitation, the generosity, the treachery, the panic. It's what makes Ark Raiders feel alive. The machines bring the danger, but the players bring the drama, and the combination is unforgettable. Ark Raiders hasn't just grown through some traditional marketing campaigns. It was mostly word of mouth. What really pushed this game into the spotlight were the stories made from every session. The TikTok compilations, the unexpected chaos, the moments that felt like action scenes stitched together by panic, luck and questionable aim. Algorithms were suddenly full of last second escapes where somebody slides into the extraction zone with bullets hurling towards them, or some great proximity chat moments. Togetherness, betrayal, it didn't matter, the game was everywhere. What made all of this more meaningful was how Ark Raiders has become this big of a deal whilst operating in the niche subgenre of extraction shooters. While most multiplayer games focus entirely on the brutal PvP tension, or others drown you in complex economy systems and punishing gear loss, Ark Raiders carved out its own middle path. Its world pushed squads together through environmental threats and AI pressure, but it also created space for the spontaneous, for the cinematic, those sort of moments that extraction shooter fans live for. It wasn't about being the hardest game, or the biggest game, or the most unforgiving game. It was about being the most dynamic game, about delivering a match that starts small and ends in however it could possibly go. There are almost unlimited possibilities. When you load into a game, you do not know how it is going to end. It's about producing sessions where you sit back afterwards and just think, what on earth happened there? And then you do it again. Ark Raiders has already proved that it can capture your attention, but the question now is how far can it push the formula? Ark Raiders has landed at exactly the right moment, with exactly the right mix of tension, charm and unpredictable behaviour. It created this perfect storm of design decisions, a world that feels dangerous but inviting, combat that rewards improvisation, social encounters that swing between wholesome and betrayal, and a progression loop that always gives you something to chase. It succeeded not by copying the giants of the genre, but by finding its own voice, a blend of retro sci-fi energy and modern extraction pacing that feels distinctly its own. So as we look ahead, the real joy is knowing that every update, every new season, every new threat is going to generate more moments worth sharing, more runs that go sideways, more friendships out of necessity, more betrayals you will pretend that you've forgiven. Ark Raiders did take over 2025, but it also earned itself a future that we as the players genuinely want to be a part of, and that might be its biggest achievement of all. if you made it this far into the video, then please leave a like, because it really does help me out. And if you want to see more videos from me, then please make sure to subscribe, because I upload at least one video a week. I've got some really cool stuff coming in December. Very soon we will be doing a ranking of every single 2025 game I played. I played over 30, so there's going to be loads. And then the week after that, I'm doing a video where I rank every single game I played in 2025, regardless of when it came out, and there's going to be over 60 in that. So please make sure to subscribe to stick around. But for now, that is all. Have a nice day, and goodbye.